So unfortunately, as anticipated, the lobby glitched. And then I got a blue screen, so the last stream ended. I feel like, well, no, I think, yeah, we will have basically everybody back in. So obviously, Sizzle did disconnect, but you can see that he's back amongst us. I think just once everybody chooses their car and all the settings are done, we should be good to go. Oh man, I'm pretty sure I'm spectating just so that it's not me that's holding things up. No, it's not. Hopefully we'll be underway very, very shortly. I'll be back in a second. So we are back, and you can see there's F1 champions on mediums. I don't think that should be the case. So I think you'll have to pit. Yeah, so he'll have to come into the pits on lap 1. I know how that feels. Unfortunately, that time it was actually him that pointed that out. So I guess life's unfortunate. Anyways, so everybody outside the top 10 bar Dree choosing to go for the medium tires. And again, Yogurt, I don't know what these guys are doing on the outlap, to be honest. But they're... Anyways, yeah, so we'll focus on the guys out in front. Jerome looking to extend his lead at the top of the championship, while Santeri looking to cut the gap to Jerome. It looks like Yogurt from last is going to have some issues making his way up onto the podium. So we'll concentrate on the top 5, really. They all seem to have very, very similar pace, so we should have and be in store, or we should have a good race in store for us today, as hopefully there are no misdemeanors in regards to the game glitching as they line up on the grid for the second time. So now the grid is formed. Let's hope to have a good race. You've got Santeri on the right there, and you've got ERT Henry on the left, with Casizzle and the championship leader Jerome directly behind Santeri. So we've got 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. And it looks like Santeri's got the best start there, but also Henry managing to maybe not pull off too well. Is Jerome going to stick his nose at the inside? Yes, he does. And unfortunately, that is going to be him all when he's taken a big whack there on the rear from a Red Bull driver. He may actually have rear wing damage. Hopefully he doesn't. Otherwise, he will find it very, very difficult to do anything through the rest of this race. As positions are being swapped all down the grid, you've got about 3 cars wide. The McLaren there almost actually going into the barrier. And Williams is slowing down. Is that Casizzle? He's slowing down. He's actually getting out of the way of quite a few cars. I'm not too sure why. But that was unfortunate. So both Williams, who actually started in the top 5, now currently down in P14 and P15. So a horrible, horrible start for the Williams team. And we may well soon find out that Jerome has got some rear wing damage. He took a massive, massive hit from one of the Red Bulls, who are now running in dead last. It looks like it was Ron Zeus, and he would have picked up some heavy front wing damage from that contact. But at the moment, we've got a good battle going on here between Michalizzi and Jerome, and both the Williams drivers. It looks like he's going to get away. He's obviously on the medium tyres, but no, he keeps his car up the inside there. They bang wheels a little bit, but it looks like the Williams will get through. So whilst we say all of that, the man out in front, Santeri, who got the best start, is picking up places, and Champ coming into the pits, obviously because he set the wrong tyres, as Yoga is actually up into P8. Wow. After starting dead last, that first lap carnage has helped him massively, and he's up into 8th. And one thing to note, he's obviously on the medium tyres, so it could actually be a fairly good result from him. We've got Jerome and Hersey battling for position. It looks like he's going to go out of the race. He's lost his wing, and that is Jerome. That is the championship leader, and he is out of the Portuguese Grand Prix. There's a virtual safety car. I wonder if that will switch to a full safety car. We've got quite a few cars in the pits at the moment for what was quite a chaotic first lap. And Jerome, after making contact with the Alpine driver, he's out of this race, and that effectively throws a massive spanner in the works, especially in regards to who is going to lead this championship at the end of this race. That is the championship leader done. Last time out was Yogurt, who actually put his car in the barrier. At the moment, he's had probably the best start of everybody. We'll have a look at the position changes. You can see that Yogurt's managed to find 12 positions in 2 laps. So things really, really going back in his direction. A Verge safe car has ended, and that is a drive-through penalty for Sai Hilu. Yellow flags being waved in the 3rd sector. There's a spinner there. I believe it might be Casizzle, actually. It is, so it's not been a good race whatsoever for the Williams team. After what was a brilliant qualifying for, but I think he's got damage as well. Yeah, it looks like he's got front left end plate damage. He was understeering quite a lot at that point. Kyle Scarrett behind Zach on those soft tyres. Zach only 1.9 seconds behind Jerome, obviously running on the mediums. Top 5 covered by about 3 seconds or so. So that should be an interesting battle, as we've got Kyle Scarrett going up the inside of Zach, who looks like he's not going to fight it too hard, but he does actually look for the switchback. And no, so Kyle Scarrett will get that position and look see if he can get after the leaders. At the moment, the gap between the top 2 currently 1.4 seconds. Looking a little bit further down the field, Michalizzi looks like he's closing in on Hersey, obviously the man who was involved in the contact with Jerome that has put him out of this race, and probably highly unlikely that the championship leader will be leading the championship after this race. Obviously that is Jerome, and he is out of the race. We'll go towards the front, as it looks like ERT Henry is getting quite a lot closer to Jamie Morris in the Mercedes. DRS, I don't believe will be active on this. No, it is active. So we could see a change in position here. Is Jamie Morris going to defend the position too hard? No, he doesn't. He stays on his line, and that is the position gained for ERT Henry. How quickly can he get after the race leader Santeri? Can he apply some pressure and make life a little bit more difficult for the AlphaTauri driver, as up till now it's been quite a walk in the park at the moment, putting on pole position and surviving that first corner carnage. We have got a few cars running quite closely, and it is mostly the medium tyre runners, at the moment, there's actually only, at least in the top 10, only 6 drivers on the softs between P6 and P14. Everybody else is on the medium tires. So that will be very, very interesting come the end of this race. And also, if there's a safety car at some point in this race, you have got Yogurt very, very close behind the back, on the back of his teammate rather, as Henry picks up a 3-second time penalty. And at the moment, he's not managing to gain on the Santeri, who's just slightly edging out every sector really. The gap now 2 seconds. We'll see what the gap is when they come across the line. It's currently coming down to 1.9, but it looks like we could have some overtaking being done on this back straight. We will watch that top 4 and we will watch the gaps to see whether or not anybody's going to get interested going down into turn 1. It looks like it's going to stay the same for now, but at the moment we've got both Ferraris running line astern, and Zach looks like he's actually going to defend from his teammate, who at this point seems like he's got a little bit more pace than his team. I wonder if he's going to think to send it up the inside. That probably wouldn't be the best thing to do, as Casizzle gets past Terror Racer down in P13 and P14. Those two drivers switching places. Obviously Casizzle, who did start in the top 4, is now running in P13 on those soft tires, so he's probably going to need a safety car in order to get anything out of this race, unless he has got some very good pace on the hard tires. Excuse me. Oh, okay, very close to the rear of his teammate. Hopefully they don't actually take each other out. It looks like Zach is wanting to defend his position very hard. Is he going to go defensive on the inside? Is Yoga going to send it on the inside? Yes, he does send it, but surely Zach will get the switch back because he actually gets out of shape. Fortunately, he keeps it out of the barrier. So both Ferraris probably are quite unnecessarily battling there, and that has actually cost Zach or 2 positions rather. I think probably the best thing to do would have been, and because he's out of the race, because he's always out of this race, so that is 2 races in a row that he will not finish. And is that going to be a safety car? It doesn't look like he will. He's very, very far off the track at the moment, so I don't believe there will be a safety car there. And it looks like Arnold and Zach are about to switch places again. Yes, they are. So the Haas driver capitalizing on the Ferraris battling, but Zach managing to get back through using the DRS. Sorry about that. So at the moment we've got Yogurt actually making ground on Kyle Scarrett. Making ground on Kyle Scarrett there, who's currently in P6. Yogurt obviously started dead last and he's up into P7, so it looks like the end of this race will bring some fireworks, because if he can manage to win this race, he may well take the championship lead, as his main contender is out of the race on lap, or the beginning of lap 2 rather. And we've got Yogurt only 7 tenths behind Kyle Scarrett. Let's have a look and see if he can get that position. The gap between Simbao in P5 and Arnold in P9, P5, P10 and P9, only 4 tenths of a second. So that position could change. It could also be a DRS stream, but we'll wait to see. It looks like Yogurt is not going to get this move done. Can Simbao get close enough to Arnold? It looks like he won't, at least on this lap. Nicolici currently running down in P12, 1.8 seconds behind Herazi, so he's dropped back a little bit from the man he was battling only a few laps ago. The gap between the top, or P2 and P3, still at 7 tenths of a second, so managing to stay within DRS, but Santeri actually pulling away. And is there a mistake there? It looks like Henry's actually spun out there, so a little bit of commentator's curse. It looks like he would have lost the rear end on entry to turn 8, and all the good work he done up until that point. To be fair, he is only P5, so he's still got a chance in this race, but he is now quite a lot further back behind the leader, 9 seconds now, which was about 2.7. So unfortunately for him, he has lost time, and also you can see how much quicker Yoga is than Kyle Scott at the moment. So it looks like this position could change on this lap. It looks like the mediums are starting to really come into their own at the moment, and the soft tire runners are starting to struggle a little bit. And probably as shown there with ERT Henry struggling, Kyle Scott is actually going to go defensive Is he going to be able to make the move sticky? Oh, he really does squeeze the Ferrari driver, but he's going to make his way around the outside, and it's a good move there from Yogurt. So he's up into P6. The man on the, it looks like a man on a mission at the moment. That red light flashing, so he's being quite aggressive in regards to his ERS usage. Interestingly enough, and getting out of shape, they're almost actually going off the track and into the barriers, but he manages to keep it out. He's actually not too far off the podium positions here, Yogurt. So depending on how quickly he can get up to the guys in P5, 4 and 3, he may well be seeing the podium come the end of this race. Who else have we got battling on the track at the moment? Kyle Scarrett's still interested in what Yogurt can do. He may well just want to sit behind him and kind of use that DRS and just kind of... Oh, Yogurt really, he is quite aggressive on his rears. I don't know if driving this way will be, or his tyres will like it. They'll definitely be screaming very, very soon, but you can see how much it is drifting around the track. That left rear could well find itself in trouble, and he may well find himself in trouble as Kyle Scarrett is actually managing to really apply pressure. So Yogurt didn't manage to pull away in that first lap, and he's going to lose that position once again. He'll drop back down into P7 and he'll be defenseless to that as Kyle Scarrett has got the DRS. So a very scruffy lap there from Yogurt. We've got Henry currently on the back of Jerome, so starting to regain the pace he had a little bit earlier on. Let's see if he can make his way back past and get past Ginger, as we've got Ginger and Jamie Morris going wheel to wheel, and he gets the move done up the inside. So Ginger, who's been quite silent in this race up until now, has made the position and is up into P2. But at the moment, Santeri is just walking away with the lead at the moment. 5.3 seconds out in front. Nobody can match him on the track. He is the fastest man out there consistently, as we've got a few battles now going on. Jamie Morris still sticking behind Ginger. He'll want to do that just for a few more corners and deploy that DRS down the back straight. As well as that, we've got Henry still behind Jerome in the Alpha Tauri. You've got Yogurt still trying to battle Kyle Scarrett. At the moment, he'll want to get past that soft tire run and really get after the guys up ahead. Arnold only 6 tenths behind Zach as well. So we've got quite a few battles going on at the moment, but the one going on furthest forward is Jamie Morrison, the Mercedes, looking to get past Ginger, who has been using his ERS, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly easy move up the inside. Yes, it is. Oh, and Ginger actually goes for the switch. Oh, they made contact. Oh, no. Oh, it was unfortunate there. Ginger's tried to go for the switchback, but the curb has bounced him out, as you would anticipate, and he has spun Jamie Morris out, and he's lost quite a few positions there. But whilst we were talking about that, there was a few cars that managed to, well, at least retain positions. Kyle Scout actually managed to stay ahead of Yogurt. Henry's managed to get past Jerome, but Ginger's actually taken Jamie Morris out there, so we may well be hearing about that in the stewards room after this race. Yogurt's still following intently behind Kyle Scout, but he really needs to get past as soon as possible. But it looks like at the moment the race is effectively being gifted to Santeri. The gap now 7.2 seconds out in front. Everybody else battling is just allowing them to extend that gap lap by lap, sector by sector. We've got some big battles going on around the final few points positions. You've got Herazi only 4 tenths behind Simbal, who's 9 tenths behind Arnold, give or take. But we'll continue watching this battle, as it looks like Kyle Scout is actually going to get DRS off his teammate, so he's going to live to see another day in P6. So it's kind of worked out a little bit well for Kyle Scout, his teammate actually getting taken out there. And Herazi getting past Simbal, who is defenseless to that DRS being wide open. So following this 3-car convoy we've got here at the moment with 2 Mercedes and then 1 Ferrari, but another Ferrari about 3 seconds back. We'll wait to see if Zach can join this party, because at some point they will probably start battling. Yeah, well, as long as Yogurt can keep his tyres together, because he's really, he'd definitely be putting that left rear in danger. If he's driving like this on the soft tyres, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a puncture come the end of the race. But we'll wait to see what he can do about it. We'll stay on board with him and just watch as he navigates this final sector. 2 cars up ahead, then they will, well, one of them will have DRS. The only man without DRS will be Jamie Morris. I wonder when somebody's going to choose to come into the pits. I think you really want to extend this soft stint to about lap 16 as far as I can remember, maybe lap 4. Portimao probably is one of my best tracks on this game, but it has been a while. Last time I did it was probably around October or September, not September, October, November last year. But nonetheless, the gap out front has been quite stagnant at around 7.5 seconds for the last 2 laps or so. So finally some consistency coming in, probably based on the fact that there is less battling going on directly out front. Excuse me. So whilst we watch this, you have got Arnold currently approaching Zach in P8. The gap only half a second, with Herazi having made his way past Simbao, now only 0.7 of a second behind Arnold. So there's going to be about a 4-car convoy there. Michelizi unfortunately just cannot get close enough to those up ahead of him in order to kind of grab onto that DRS and stay there. But it looks like Yoga is really a lot faster now than those guys on the soft tyres. So he'll want to be making his way through as quickly as possible to really utilize those medium tyres. Excuse me, because once as you can see there, Jamie Morris pits. So Jamie Morris comes into the pits and he's most likely going to put on the medium tyres. We'll be interested to see what he does go for. As well as him, ERT Henry's coming to the pits as well. So they will come out in clean air. What tyres do they put on? So they've both gone for the medium tyres and they will be looking to go to the end of this race. Cal Scarrett will be a bit of a sitting duck here. At least you'd assume once we come up towards the final corner. But he may well just jump into the pits. So it looks like it's going to work out for these soft tyre runners. Yoga's going to have to find some consistency and some speed in the next 5-6 laps or so. Or actually, it's more than that. Because if these guys have gone 13 laps, so he'll have to go up to maybe around lap 20 on these mediums. It doesn't look like he's been driving them cautiously in any way, shape or form. So it'll be interesting to see how far he can go on these medium tyres. There's yellow flags in the first sector and it's F1 champ. I don't believe there'll be a safety car. He has rejoined right in front of a few other cars there, but I don't think there was any damage, or at least he's still in this race, so there shouldn't be a safety car. The gap out in front 8.6 seconds, so Santeri is really dominating at the moment. It looks like they're both coming to the pits. I believe Cal Scout will box. Oh no, he doesn't box, he actually stays out. So Cal Scarrett stays out for another lap. He's really trying to offset those soft tyres. Excuse me. He's really trying to offset those soft tyres. And it will be very close. You could potentially find yourself in a situation where your left rear is on the edge. I'm not sure if that was a safety car in that race that I'm thinking about, but nonetheless, tyre wear does come into it. But Cal Scout managing to stay ahead of Yoga. And Yoga has actually struggled in a scenario like this for 2 races in a row. You remember last time out, he was actually a bit quicker than Santeri, but he just could not get past. Probably was running a little bit too much wing. But we'll see. Now he's about 4/10 behind Cal Scarrett. Jerome 3 seconds ahead of this pair here. As Arnold gets a 3-second time penalty. So a few cars with penalties actually. Henry and Ginger also with penalties. And also you can see that Henry's managed to get the undercut on Ginger there. So Henry has actually, or Ginger's actually come out behind Henry. While Santeri is approaching Terry. So Cal Scout comes into the pits. Zach, it looks like he could be under threat from Arnold here, who doesn't really have any ERS. So he may well live to see another day. Santeri approaching Michelizi. Is Michelizi going to go defensive? He does go offline a little bit, but that should be an easy move for the net race leader, as we've got Henry and Ginger also currently running line astern on track. So this will be an interesting battle. This is for provisional P2 in this race. Jamie Morris a few seconds behind, unfortunately, after having contact with Ginger. He's lost touch with the leaders. can see Jamie Morris just ahead of his teammate, but also behind Jerome, who just came into the pits. So we'll keep an eye on how these things unfold. Literally everybody currently on the track is on the medium tyres. So none of the people that start on the mediums have chosen to come into the box as of yet, as you would expect. For some reason my PlayStation is making a very loud worrying noise. Santeri about to come past Simba, but we'll stay on board with this battle we have here. Henry won't get DRS from Terrorist, I believe. So we may well be seeing him coming under pressure from Ginger. Yes, he will. Is Henry going to defend? Surely he will, because he's been using that ERS. He's going to try his way up the inside, and he just turns in and doesn't leave Ginger any room really whatsoever, realistically. And that is unfortunate for Ginger. He loses a position. He may well lose another position to Cal Scout, who will have very, very hot medium tyres. So he'll probably struggle for the next few corners. You can see he's getting a little bit out of shape there, but he has got himself, fortunately, back up to speed. And another piece of contact there made in turn one. Quite aggressive driving from those out there. I guess you kind of need to mark your authority in some way. But again, I'm sure the stewards room will be fairly busy after this race. You've got Henry now only 4 tenths behind Teresa, who is on the used set of mediums. So this will be a very, very easy overtake down the back straight, as Yoga has finally decided to come into the pits, and that is a little bit early. As I did say, it looked like he was really using those medium tyres up quite a lot, and he has had to come into the box very early. He's going to go for the hard tyres then. I know he goes for the softs. There's no way those tyres are going to the end. He's not going to take those soft tyres to the end of this race. But Henry does get the position done, and there's yellow flagged in the first sector, and I believe that's Michelizzi. So the tyres are screaming, it is enough for the drivers out there. Cal Scarrett at the moment quite close behind Ginger. Gap is half a second. Jamie Morris is about to get past Michelizzi, who, as we just saw, is really, really struggling on those medium tyres, and that will be the move there done. Michelizzi looking to come back, but he won't have the grip to attack, so that will be an easy pass for Jamie Morris. And again, Yogurt choosing to come into the pits fairly early there for those soft tyres. So we'll see how that does pan out come the end of this race. About 16 laps to go. Very interesting choice. He will be fairly quick over the next 8 laps. Whether or not he can hold on, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Simbal only 5 tenths behind Arnold as the leader Zach comes into the race, and soon Santeri will retake the lead of this race. You can see here the battle for P3 at the moment, and it's a very easy move up the inside, but Arnold looking to get the switchback. He's going to send it up the inside. No, he chooses to stay behind. He will get the DRS, so if he can get good enough traction up here, he may be close enough, but he doesn't. He gets a bit of understeer in the dirty air, and Simbal gets the move done. So I wonder when these guys will choose to come into the pits. Both Ferraris now on the soft tyres, so very, very aggressive from the Ferrari drivers. And interestingly enough, the guys that are up ahead will be racing him for position. For position, as Michelizzi is looking to go for a switchback, but I believe he will probably back out of that. And he does exactly that. So again, yeah, so let's watch the Ferrari drivers. Both of them have gone for the soft tyres, and this is for a net position also, as he has gone for a very, very aggressive tyre strategy. I don't know how much it will work, but he will be very, very quick, so it will be entertaining for those of you watching. So let's see what he can do. He has got Ginger up ahead, and then he's got Jerome and Jamie Morris only a few seconds ahead of that. So let's see how quickly he can catch those guys. Maybe he's banking on the safety car at some point at the end of this race. Santeri is very, very close behind Herazi, who's on the very, very old medium tyres out in front. Terreracer losing positions there down the straight to Jamie Morris. fairly easily. You can see he's just got a 3-second time penalty going a bit wide there at turn 1. So this is going to become a very, very interesting battle, as you've got Ginger trying to make his way past Michelizzi. I know these guys will probably be in the same party, so they are going to battle each other fairly hard, and it's going to be an easy move up the inside. We'll stay on board with Yogurt and watch it from the Ferrari man's point of view, as again he will be the quickest man on track at the moment on these soft tyres. Let's see, you see very aggressive through there. You see how quickly he can get onto the back of Ginger. He needs to clear Michelizzi as soon as possible, as he wants to get after the Alpine and the Alpha Tauris, or the Alpha Tauri just ahead of him. And then you've got Terror Racers, the cork in the bottle in P7, separating those that have all pit and Jamie Morris. I'm not sure. I hope this isn't making an annoying noise, because obviously I'll just charge my controller as Terror races into the pits, and so is Simbao. So ERT Henry very close to Arnold, and the position has been changed. And Michelizzi really struggling. He jumps out of the way of Yogurt. He got massive oversteer in the middle of the corner there and was effectively defenseless. You can see that Kyle Scarrett is still following very, very closely, obviously on the medium tyres, so he will need to do that, because at some point Yogurt's tyres will fall off the cliff. At what point, we'll have to wait and see. So now we have got, it's kind of, not reset itself yet. You've got Arnold and Heresy still yet to pit. But between P5 and P8, that is all for position. And Santeri does the fast lap of the race on the medium tyres, I believe, without DRS. So you can see how much pace he's got. But Ginger is the man closest at the moment, but he hasn't got the ERS. He will have the DRS, so we may find ourselves with a little DRS train here. Is he going to be quick enough to make a move on Jerome? Is he going to make a late move? No, he thinks better of it. But at the moment, he needs to know that Yogurt is very aggressive on those soft tyres behind, and very, very quick, as Jerome goes a little bit deep, and that could compromise his exit going down towards turn 5. And is Santeri going to send it up the inside? It looks like Ginger's gone for the move, and he's going to make it. Is Santeri going to follow him through? Yes, he does. Is he going to get both of them? We'll have to wait and see. They're going to come towards turn 8. Surely he's not going to try and make the move around the outside. It's very aggressive. Are they going to leave each other enough room? We'll watch this on board with Jerome, and Ginger's about to... No! Wow, brilliant move there from Yogurt, but Ginger basically loses traction completely on the exit and loses both the positions there. So he gained the position on Jerome, and then he lost it. Yogurt is the man up into 4th place now, only 3 seconds separating himself and Jamie Morris. The gap to the leader is 15 seconds. I don't think he'll catch that, but there are yellow flags in the middle sector. I'm not too sure why there's a Haas going slowly. It's Khalifa. I think he might have a puncture. So I think Khalifa may have a puncture. He's been on those medium tyres for 18 laps. Let's have a quick look to see if that is the case. Yes, he has. He's got a front left puncture. So really emphasizing how high the tyre wear is. He's been on those medium tyres for 18 laps, and he has picked up a puncture there. Probably not music to Yogurt's ears, as there's more yellow flags. I believe that's Champ, who is in dead last at the moment. He's fortunately managed to keep himself going. Oh, and Yogurt's had a massive slide there. Is he going to lose position? Well, they're going to go wheel to wheel. He might be the aggressor. Is Jerome going to defend it inside? Yogurt thought better of going for the move. He probably had a few flashbacks of the move he actually tried to make on his teammate earlier on in this race. But he will get the DRS, but he looks like he's struggling on the... Oh! Wow, they're all struggling at the moment as Jerome actually loses the rear. and has dropped down into P7, and Yogurt playing the DRS game. He actually lets Ginger pass, who's going to get DRS, and Yogurt is going to try and make the pass. This is some very cheeky driving from the Ferrari driver. Ginger's going to defend this probably pretty hard, as he may feel some type of way. I know he doesn't actually. He lets Yogurt go past. He's going to try and get the switchback as he did earlier on. No, he almost thought about sending it, but he thought better of it. So Kyle Scarrett's going to be watching this also fairly intently. The man who was quite silently just sitting behind all of this. He's made up a position as Jerome made a mistake. Excuse me. You've got quite a few cars on soft tires now, with 10 laps to go in this race. I wonder if there's another unexpected event, so to say, that will happen in this race. With 10 laps to go, the leader we've literally not seen. I don't even know where he is on the track at the moment. We have not seen Santeri one bit in this race. He's been in a complete league of his own out there. Obviously, you've got both Williams, as you can see, out of this race. The championship leader, Jerome, not making it to the end of lap 2 after making contact with Hersey in the Alpine. He went out of this race, and it's looking like we could potentially have a new championship leader. Interestingly enough, we've got a fairly good battle actually going on outside the top 10 between Terrorista, Michalizzi, Arnold and Ron Zeus. But we will keep our eyes on this battle currently going on for 4th position between Kyle Scarrett, Afaro Ginger and Yogurt. Oh wow. So Yogurt defending quite aggressively there. Are they both going to make it through turn 1? They managed to do so. Is he going to send it down the inside? No, he thought better of it. He just sent the dummy there. And that actually caused Ginger to go a little bit deep. And Yogurt will get a better exit. Is he going to be able to utilize that DRS? Is he going to send it down the inside? Is he going to be lit on the brakes? No, he's not. So good battle in there going on between Ginger and Yogurt. Both managing to keep it clean and both their cars on the track. That is what we like to see. The gap between Zach and Jerome currently 4/10 between P7 and P8. You've still got that good battle going on down the field, and there you've got Yogurt having a sensing an opportunity up the inside. Is he going to make it stick? They're still going wheel to wheel and they're still managing to keep it clean. Let's hope this continues going through the final sector. Ginger manages to back out and he will be looking for that DRS down the back straight. I wonder if Yogurt is going to try and pull a fast one and slam on the brakes before the start-finish line. Let's hope he doesn't. He will lose 2 positions if he tries to do so. And yeah, he doesn't there. But he's going to come under pressure from Ginger. And you can see Kyle Scarrett is kind of just sitting behind, saving up a little bit of DRS whilst both cars up ahead. They're both harvesting. So this could well play into his hands. And you can see they're going to bang wheels. Yogurt really trying to squeeze him. He's going to go for the cutback. And he's going to make it as Ginger goes off the track. Again, Kyle Scarrett is watching this very, very intently, just waiting for somebody to make a big enough error to present him the opportunity. Ginger may get the DRS here. Yes, he does. Is he going to look to send it up the inside? Yogurt defends a little bit. He's going to look for the switchback once again. Is he going to get it on those soft tires? Yes, he does. But Ginger just about makes it with enough traction to pull off that move. We'll stay on board with Yoga. Is he going to try? No, you're not going to put it up the inside there, let's be honest. But all this battling is bringing everybody effectively into play here. You've got Zach down in P8. He's going to be on to the back of this train as Jerome is about to join this party going on at the moment. The gap out in front, 8.3 seconds. It's a very, very lonely race for the top three as Khalifa does the fastest lap of the race. But this is getting very, very interesting at the moment. This is the battle for P4. Obviously, Yoga, through the very aggressive strategy, putting on the soft tyres, he's been on those tyres for 8 laps and he has to go 6 more laps. So he may well find himself in a big pickle coming towards the end of this race. Has he got enough ERS to battle back towards Ginger? It looks like he does. Ginger's harvesting there, so he may well, and he's defending. Oh, they almost make contact. Wow, they're weaving all over the place, left and right. Is Yoga going to send it up the inside? Probably feeling a little bit aggrieved, but Kowskara is going to put up the inside. Hopefully, Yoga just about leaving him enough room. Excuse me. Yoga just about leaving him enough room there. Fortunately for Kowskara, he has not been taken out of this race. But this is some really, really good battling going on here. You can now see that what was a 3-car battle has turned into a 5-car battle. Harazi only 1.9 seconds behind. Let's see whether or not he can join the party and really bring everybody else into play. Well, actually, no, Simbao in P10 is about 6.9 seconds behind. So it could be just these guys for now. We might find ourselves with a little bit of a DRS train. But whoever has, say, the most ERS will probably find himself in the best position at the moment as Ginger getting massively out of shape on the exit of that corner, and at some point Yoga's tyres are going to scream enough is enough, and I wonder if now will be the time, 9 laps into this stint, whilst those around him are all on the medium tyres or younger soft tyres. So we'll see whether or not that is the case, but the gaps have kind of become quite consistent now, so I don't think we'll see any overtaking down the back straight on this lap unless somebody is feeling a bit risky. Oh, and Ginger's gone wide. So Ginger's gone wide and he's lost the position to Yogurt. Will follow on board of Kowskara at the moment. Can he get that position back from Yogurt? The gap only 0.4 of a second. It looks like he won't be able to do so as, the camera they were giving us there was a bit rubbish as they get really, really close to the apex of the hairpin. But surely at some point, Yogurt's tyres will fall off. So I feel like it's really just a matter of biding their time on the mediums rather than fighting them too aggressively, because I'd say maybe around lap 30, 31, Yogurt will be in a massive amount of trouble on those old soft tyres, and he may well lose up to 4 positions to all the guys around him. You can see Ginger's managing to stay on the back of him quite easily as he's sliding around that middle sector, and you can see there's going to be quite a few cars as Harazi has got himself involved. Going to be quite a few cars waiting and watching intently to try and get the moves done, as Yogurt is going to be an absolutely sitting duck on this back straight. He's going to be defenseless to what Ginger has for him at the moment in the Alpine. We'll see this move will be made fairly easily as he does try to defend, but he doesn't have really much chance to do so. Ginger regains that P4 whilst everybody else follows along with what is still quite consistent gaps around half a second. You see, what a great, I'm sure there's been a great battling going on a little bit further down the field. It's unfortunate that we've been fixated on what has been going on towards the top, but maybe for a lap or so we'll see what's going on here. You can see Michalizzi all following very, very closely behind Arnold. He looked like terrorists, was a little bit late on the brakes there. Excuse me. But watching that final corner, as you can see in the bottom right of your map, we may well see a changing of positions, as Zach and Harazi are very, very close together, but they will all have DRS. So, like I said, they may well find themselves in a bit of a DRS train. And it looks like that is the case, as nobody's really getting close enough to make an overtake. But we'll keep our eyes on that. Don't you worry about that. At the moment, we've got Terrace and Michalizzi and Arnold battling for P11. It looks like nobody's going to be close enough here either, so we will jump back to what is going on out in front. And Yoga is not at the moment quicker than Ginger. You can see Ginger's probably got a bit of an advantage on those medium tyres. Like I said, probably around the next lap you'll see Yoga struggling massively for grip on those soft tyres, especially in the rear. So when you come to the middle sector, you'll see him sliding around massively, as you've just seen there. He has to make a big correction mid-corner just to try and keep himself out of the barrier. Kyle Scarrett looks like probably the man with the best opportunity to take that position. Well, obviously he's the man in P6, but Jerome also on those medium tyres. But Zach, who's on a one lap newer tyres than his teammate, and there's somebody off in the first sectors, and Aston Martin is Dries out of the race. I don't believe there's enough time for a safety car, so I don't think we'd have to worry about that. Excuse me. So there's been a race with no safety cars, interestingly enough, and you can see here, is somebody going to be aggressive using up that ERS to try and make a move? It looks like the Alpine driver is fairly close behind Zach, but nobody's close enough to really utilize that DRS and get past. They are all quite following each other quite closely, but nobody close enough on this lap. But trust me, 2 laps to go. This probably will end, or probably be quite an interesting end, because I do anticipate Yoga's tyres falling off. At the moment, he is still managing to stick behind Ginger. Impressively enough. Obviously, and Ginger spun out! Ginger spun! And Yoga's gone straight into the side of him. He's lost his front wing, so I'm not sure if Ginger will have side pod damage. He may well have side pod damage, but Yoga, who's had an absolutely stellar race up until this point, he's going to drop down like a fly now. His teammate may well also lose time behind him. Obviously, he's driving around with no front wing. He'll have to get out of the way. Oh, they've made contact there as well. That is so unfortunate there for Yoga. He was effectively a passenger in that situation as Ginger lost his rear going into turn 8, and Yoga speared into his side and he's lost all of his front wing. So all the hard work from Yoga, starting from the back of the field, making his way up into P5, has gone down the drain. He is going to have to come into the pits and will potentially come out in last. Kyle Scout defending now from Ginger, but Ginger's going to make the position up with fair ease, as you've got Harazi quite close behind Zach also. We watched Kyle Scout up ahead, having a little look up the inside of Ginger and thinking better of making a move. That is very, very unfortunate for Yoga. I wonder if he's going to retire from this race with only 2 laps to go. He's probably not going to score any points. He might be able to steal a fastest lap point, at least away from his title contenders. But that is a big shame for the Ferrari driver. He couldn't do anything about that. Those are probably the worst ones, when somebody spins in front of you and you're probably praying that they ghost. He didn't ghost on that occasion. And excuse me, it's unfortunate for Yoga, because now he's down in P13 and it looks like that is the end of his race. We still have got a good battle on here for P4. This is going to be the last lap. So if Kyle Scarrett has got anything in the tank, he's going to have to use it here. He's going to have to be very, very aggressive with that ERS, probably coming out of the final corner. You kind of want to slingshot yourself onto the back straight. Try not to lose the rear. You deploy it around now, I'd say. There you go. He's done it. Ginger's not going to be able to defend. You can see his light is flashing on the rear of that Alpine. He's going to go to the right to defend. Surely, no, he doesn't actually. He sticks to the left. And he's lost the position with fair ease. He does look to get the switch back though. They're going to make contact off the track. Kyle Scout's going to defend, and Ginger's still off the track actually. It looks like he's struggling for a little bit of grip there. I wonder if he can lose a position to the AlphaTauri. He's going to go wide, and he's going to gain a little bit of an advantage there. Is Jerome going to look to send it up the inside? Yes, he does send. He's going to go into Kyle Scarrett. Oh, almost. They've made contact, and I'm not sure if he's got wing damage there, but Ginger's gone off the track. Excuse me. Ginger's gone off the track, and it's been a fairly horrible couple laps for Ginger, not the cleanest. And it looks like Kyle Scout may well get away with that P4. Ginger's really dropping down. He's struggling at the moment. I wonder if he's got issues in regards to his tyre wear. His rears don't look very, very good. I think he's got side pod damage, actually. He may well have side pod damage after that collision, as Santeri comes across the line for an absolutely dominant victory in Portugal. Oh, as Zach slides all over the... I'm not sure if there was contact there. Maybe he just lost the rear, but he may well lose the position to Harazi around the outside. This is a brilliant finish at the end of the Portuguese Grand Prix. And Zach may well retain the position. It looks like he is, but cars all over the track at the moment. Ginger managing not to stay over the track. There's going to be a photo finish between the two of them. Who's going to get the place is Zach, just about pips in front. But I think Ginger may well have had a penalty there. So it was a good finish to the race in Portugal. Quite a lot going on there. Yeah, I believe Ginger would have had some form of damage after making contact with Yogurt, because he was struggling quite a lot in that final few laps after the contact. So interesting finish there, but a dominant victory for Santeri. He absolutely destroyed the rest of the field as Yogurt manages to take that fastest lap of the race. Jamie Morris also getting onto the podium. It was a very good race for him after making contact a little bit earlier on, I believe, with Ginger. So he's managed to make his way back onto the podium. Well done to him. ERT Henry rounding out the top three and taking the final step on the podium. So there you have it, 11-second advantage for Santeri out in front, and then you've got a trio of British drivers between P2 and P3. Good result for all of them. Good result for Kyle Sky. Very consistent drive. Zach managing to make his way up into P5 after quite a lot of carnage, let's say, or chaos in the final 5 laps of the race. Herazi managing to finish in 6th with Jerome, Ginger, Simba and Arnold rounding out the top 10. Unfortunately for Yogurt, who had a brilliant race up until the point where he collected Ginger, who lost his car at turn 8. Casizzle and Jerome not finishing, both Williams drivers scoring 0 points. Also meaning that I believe the championship lead has switched hands now over to Santeri. Let me just check that now to confirm. No. Santeri will be a point behind Jerome, and the fact that Yogurt did not score any points, it will mean that Jerome will still lead this championship by only 1 point from Santeri, who's put back-to-back victories together. So looking towards Austria, he'll want to really cement his form at the moment and try and go for 3 in a row. But Yogurt will want to get back on track after 2 very disappointing results. Unfortunately, really through no fault of his own, at least in Portugal. He'll want to outscore his rivals because after Austria we will have only 5 races left in the season. That will go Great Britain, Belgium, Zandvoort, Italy and USA. Zandvoort is effectively a qualifying race only. You're not going to find any overtaking at Zandvoort. Personally, I have no idea why Zandvoort would be on any racing league's calendar. I just think it's a fairly poor track to race at. But nonetheless, Zandvoort is in about 4 races time, and we have Italy and USA, 2 very good tracks rounding out the FRL season. So until next week, from myself, Low Key, hope you guys enjoyed the race. I hope you have a good weekend also, and we'll be back next week for the Austrian Grand Prix. See you later.